All right, so now I'm going to start recording. So anybody that can't log in right now, from this point on, they'll be able to see it. All right, guys, so we are going to be starting telling time. And when you get a chance, when you pick up your packet, you will have a packet that looks like this. Okay, and it says time to go to the zoo. And it's just like our packets we always use. I already had them made for you and ready to go. And then you'll have your little clock. So I just want to talk about a few things today. And I know you probably don't have your clocks yet, but if you get them today, then tomorrow we can actually practice telling some times together. And I can give you a time and you can do it. All right. So I want to pull up a little slideshow that I had made. That was not it. Screen sharing has stopped as the shared window is closed. Okay. Here we go. That's what I need to get for you. All right. All right. So what I want you to remember in today's lesson is that we're going to be talking about time. So we have two different kinds of clocks. And I want you to look at my picture I've got right here. Make it zoom in a little bit so it's a little easier for us to see. All right, so we've got two kinds of clocks. We've got an analog clock, which is this one, and we have what's called a digital clock. And I bet right now, if you stop and you just looked around the room you're in, probably somewhere close by there's a clock. Does anyone see one? Rosie,
No.
which kind do you see, Rosie?
I see a hall clock, which is a really old type of clock.
So does it have the numbers and have the hands like this one?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, it does.
So you see an analog clock. All right. Anybody else? Tell me what you see around your house.
I have a clock that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I'm in the kitchen, so I don't see one.
All right. Look on your microwave or your stove. Is there a digital clock on one of those, Rylan?
Yep.
Yeah? So, all right, let me ask you.
10:07.
What's the difference when you just look at it? What's the difference in our analog clock and a digital clock?
That one's circle.
Microwave.
Yeah, this one's a circle. What else do you see is different?
This one has hands and
Show the time by different look.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to look here. Let's look at our analog clock. So our analog clock usually has numbers. They don't always have to have numbers, but they usually have numbers or they have something that's representing the numbers, and they use the hands that go around. And all analog clocks will have an hour hand, which is the short one. You'll remember that from first grade, and it points to the hour. And it'll have the minute hand, which is the long one, and it points to what the minute is. In fact, some of them, like the one in our classroom, even has a red hand. And you know what the red hand is?
The minute hand?
The second.
The seconds. And if you watch it, it goes really fast. It goes like tick, 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 tick. But not all clocks have second hands, but all analog clocks will have an hour hand and a minute hand. That's what they use to tell time. All right. So just throughout the day, if you get a chance and you get bored and you can get a hold of a phone or an iPad, take some pictures of some of the clocks in your home and let's send them and share them. And we'll see, you know, different how analog clocks can look different and digital clocks can look different.
My mom painted ours.
Okay. All right, so here's a digital clock. Now, a digital clock uses numbers. Instead of hands to show the time, it just uses the numbers that you see. And in fact, if
My daddy has one of those.
Yeah. Kara, if I look at the top of my computer, at the very top right there, I can see what time it is. I have a digital clock on my computer, and I bet you do too if you
I
scroll.
have 3 digital clocks.
I don't.
You don't have one on yours?
No.
So, the first number is always the hour, and the second one is the minute. And who remembers or who knows what you call the dots in between? We call that a colon. A colon. So whenever we write the time, because we'll be writing times, we'll write the hour, colon, and the minute. All right, so from this point on, we can't call it dot dot. Bye-bye dot dot. What are we gonna call it?
Colon.
A colon, right, we're gonna call it what it is. That's a colon, very good. All right, so here's a few things that you know, you're gonna remember from first grade, but I wanna make sure you've got it. How many hours are in a day?
24.
24.
Yes, good job, Carrie. You jumped right on that. There are 24 hours in a day. And then if we break down our day into hours, there are 60 minutes in one.
In 1 hour.
Yeah. And then if we take our hour and we break it down into minutes, there are 60 seconds in
seconds.
1
1
Minute.
So those are just the times that we're going to keep in mind as we go. All right. Moving on. So, you know, we've been doing a lot of stuff with number lines. Well, guys, let's go back and let's just take a look at that analog clock. That analog clock right there, all that is a number line that instead of being stretched out straight, it's been wrapped together in a circle. So let's see what that would look like if we were to take that number line and lay it out flat. Okay, so here's just a number line, and we're going to go through, and we're just going to put some numbers on it, right? So we're going to start our number line with 0. Let's see if it's going to type. I want to make my font big. Hold on. Make sure you can see it. Yay! Very good. So we've got 0. All right, so what'll be our next one on our number line? 1.
2.
3,
3.
4,
4.
5,
Yep.
6,
6.
7,
7.
8,
8.
9,
9.
10,
10. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Come back. 11 and
12.
12. 12. You got to get back on there, 12. Places. Shoot a monkey.
12.
12. All right, now I want you to think about something. If I were to cut that out, if I were to cut that strip out with my scissors, if we were here, that's what we would be doing. We'd be cutting it out. And I were to put it together in a circle, what two numbers would come together?
0 and 12.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Rosie. The 0 and the 12. So when we go back and we look at our analog clock, all right, we don't see 0, do we? What number is at the top of our clock?
12.
12. Very good. So whenever we are at 12, we are starting in our minutes, we are starting a new hour. And so that's why whenever we start a new hour, like if it's 2 o'clock, we're going to write it 2:00, because it's like our number line is starting all over again. All right, we're going to do some work with this, but I want to show you something you can do at home. Oh, not yet. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. All right. When you get your packet, let me zoom out. Zoom out. Okay. When you get your packet, you'll have a page in it that looks like this. Well, you might not. I was just looking. You might not. That might be the old packet that had that. But we can, if you have it in there, we could go around and we could actually put our numbers on our clock. So let's just do it since we've got it together. Let's make these big and bold, and let's do it. Ready, guys? So what's going to go right here?
1,
2,
3,
4,
It's like they're getting smaller.
5, 6,
7,
8,
9,
10,
10,
11, 12.
Yes. Just a minute. AJ left us. We got to let him back in. Okay. AJ's back. All right. Cool.
They just got smaller.
Well,
for
they
some
did because
reason.
I didn't change the font on all of them. All right. So, and then if we wanted to show 5 o'clock, where would our little hour hand point to?
The 12.
The little hour hand. 5. The
5.
hour always comes first.
5.
5. So guys, you're actually going to get to try this, what I'm doing right now on your little interactive thing that you're going to do. So I'll you can see right now how I do it on my screen. Up here at the top, there's this little section, and you can click it and you can choose if you want to make a line or an arrow or all these little things. So I chose arrow, and then watch this. I can go right here in the middle of my clock, and I can make an
A
arrow.
little lollipop.
Isn't that cool? And
I
I
made a little
point
lollipop
to
at first.
the 5. Now, if we're doing 5 o'clock, where is our minute hand going to point?
At the
At the 12.
At the 12, because every time we say o'clock, we're starting a new hour, and our minute hand is always pointing up to the 12. So I'm going to grab me a arrow, hold it down, and I'm going to make it touch the 12.
Right there.
Nice and long. Now, our clock shows 5 o'clock. Cool, huh?
Sometimes it's confusing to little ones because they try to tell time, but when the clock is at an o'clock, they're like 12:05.
So,
But the 12 is actually just 2 zeros.
yep. So let's talk about that, Rylan, before we move on, because I think that's exactly what you just said is exactly what we need to talk about. So whenever you're telling time, you always say the hour first. And which hand points to the hour, the long one or the short one?
The long one.
Short one.
The short one.
The short one. So
tiny one.
always look for your short hand first. Okay. There's my short hand, and it's pointing to the 5. So I know that my time is 5, my hour is 5, and then I look at my minute hand. And when my minute hand is pointing straight up, we say
O'clock.
o'clock. So it's 5 o'clock. Now today, we're only going to talk about when it's on the hour and the half hour. So I'm going to take that one off, okay? And I'm going to take this, and we're going to pretend like time is passing a little bit, okay? And this time, our clock's going to look like this. Now, where's my minute hand pointing?
At the 6.
At the 6. Very good. When we just divided our clock right in half when we did that. It's halfway between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And that's why our hand would have moved halfway between those two numbers. So when we're pointing down to the 6, we say it's the hour, 5, and then we say 30 because we're going to, tomorrow we're going to get into counting around by 5s. But just for fun, let's do that today. We're going to start at the 1, and every time my little cursor moves, we're going to count by 5. Are you ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's been 30 minutes when you're telling time. So now when you look at it, you're going to say 5:30 or 5:30. All right, I'm going to put some on there, and we're going to try them. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let me take you off. All right, so let's try one. All right, what's the time?
3 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
2. Look for your shorthand first.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Good. All right. Now I'm going to make this one go down. We're going to pretend like time's passing. Watch, I'm going to make this one go down. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 2:30. Now what time is it?
2 6
2:30.
2:06
No.
2
2:30. Right. Now, you see how our hand is in between the two numbers? That can be so confusing.
I already figured it out.
What's your strategy?
Well, you see how it's past the 2, but it's not at the 3 yet.
Yep.
If it's past the 2, right when it gets to the 2, that's when it starts being 2. But when it keeps on going past, it's still going to go at. It's still going to be 2 because it hasn't reached 3 yet.
Yes, you said that perfect, Rylan. Good job. So just remember this. Anytime it's between two numbers, always default back to the lesser number. Because like Rylan was saying, it's not 2 to 3 yet. It's not 3 o'clock yet. We're still in the 2 o'clock hour. So when you look at it and it's between two numbers, in your mind, go back to the lesser number. 2:30. 2:30. I want to show you a little game you can play on abcu.com, and then I actually have some time we can practice. It's in our workbook, but I've got it on here for you. You can log on and do it. All right, so I know you guys like to go to ABCia, so you might have some free time, and if you do, AJ, go to abcu.com.
Wait, pause it.
And just in the search thing, type in the word time. And these little time games will come up. So I'm just going to do a couple just to show you how it works, because it's something fun you can do on your own. And this one just does the hour and the half hour, just like we've been working on. All right, so that looks like my cinnamon. We're going to blast cinnamon off to space.
This one, so you watched my mom's video that she did on Sunday?
All right, the reason these are locked is because we're doing the free version. So you just click on the one. And we're going to do an analog clock because that's what we want to practice. And it's going to give us a time to put on our clock. All right. So it says it wants us to set the clock to 9 p.m. Let's pause right there. What does that mean, p.m.?
I know.
In the afternoon.
Afternoon.
Past morning.
Past morning.
Past
That's
morning.
right. Past meridian. So meridian is a Latin word for middle. And AM means all the hours leading up until 12 noon. And then PM is the hours after 12 noon. Right? So we have to make it go around until it's 9 p.m. So if you play this game at home, all you have to do is take your finger and put it on your mouse and put it on there, and you start going around. And it tells us on our clock. You have to tell me when to stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
At the 9.
All right. And then we'll hit check. And we got it right. So we have a little thing. So let's do 2 more together. So now what do we need to set it for?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Okay.
So you just need to change that one.
What do you think we should do, Kara?
I think you should change that one that way.
Okay, just flip it over the other way. Okay, let's do it. I have to move the minute hand. What do you notice? What just happened right here?
It went to 8
It went to AM. So now we're in the morning time. But it says we need to go to PM. We got to keep going around until it gets all the way to PM.
I'm watching the AM and waiting for it to turn into PM.
Is it there, Rylan?
Yep, when I
Yep.
said PM, it just went right to
All right,
PM.
tell me when to stop. 3 p.m.
Right there.
Stop.
No. No.
Right there.
Right there. Right
Okay.
there.
Let's check it. All right, so this is a little game if you guys go to abc.com that you can play. Does that sound good?
Yay.
I
Yep.
thought you would like that one. And it does give you some to the half hour also. They just haven't done it on this one.
Just do time and
It's giving us to the literally at the hour.
Yeah, all those were literally at the hour. All right, guys, I
It's
want to show you
rare
this.
to look at the clock and see it just right at the hour.
Yes.
Rare.
On your Google Classroom for Monday, for today, there's a link at the bottom that says Telling Time Lesson 1 Interactive Worksheets. If you click on that, this is what it opens. And this is what it looks like. I figured out how you can write on something, and I'm going to show you. We're going to do the first one together. So I'm going to zoom in and make it bigger so it's easier for you to see. Okay. Awesome. Can everybody see that?
Here.
You good?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is actually, when you get your packet, this is actually lesson 1 in your packet. I can't see myself, so I hope you can see me holding that up.
Yeah, I can see
Okay, good. So this is actually lesson 1 in your packet, and I've just put it in here, but I've made it where you can type things in. AJ, look at my first clock. What time is it?
I like Captain.
Are you there, AJ?
1.
Yes.
1
My
p.m.
little hand's pointing to the 1, and my big hand's pointing straight up. So we say
1 p.m.
1 o'clock.
1
When
o'clock.
we come down here, we're gonna write 1 o'clock. So
1
you're just gonna click,
Zoom in right here.
and you're gonna type a 1,
1.
and then you're gonna see your colon, and you're gonna click. And what do I put when it's 1 o'clock?
0, 0.
Sarah,
Zero.
good girl. 0, 0. It's a new hour. No minutes have started yet. Very good. Kara,
Maybe I can help you.
number 2. What time is on this clock?
It's hard to see. 5.
Okay, look at my little hand. It's between the 3 and the 4.
3.
Yep.
30.
3.
30. 30.
3:30. Good
3:30.
girl. Remember, when it's pointing down to the 6, it's been 30 minutes. So we say 3:30. So we're going to click, and we're going to press the 3. Click. And this time we're going to write
30.
3:30. Rylan, what time is on the 3rd clock? Where's your little hand
4
pointing?
o'clock. 4 o'clock. 4
Okay,
o'clock.
let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It looks like it hasn't reached the 5 yet.
It is. It's on it.
I tried.
You're good. So we're going to do 5 o'clock. All right, so we're going to type it in. 5. And Rylan, what are we going to put for our minutes?
0, 0.
You got it, girlfriend. Good job. Rosie, go to our 4th clock down here. What time is it?
It is 12.
Look at your
30.
shorthand first, pointing to the,
6.
so it's 6.
6.
I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, it's 4.
What do we say when it's pointing straight up at the 12? It's a new hour.
12.
Who remembers?
Me.
Say it.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
O'clock. All right, Rosie, ready? Try it again, girlfriend.
6
6 o'clock. Say o'clock.
o'clock.
You got it, girl. So we're gonna write what's gonna be our hour, Rosie?
6 o'clock.
6. And what's gonna be our minute?
0, 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Rosie?
know.
0, 0. Layla Bug, what time's on this clock?
8 o'clock.
Look at your hour hand. What's it pointing to?
Because you can scroll down. 8 o'clock.
Yes, 8 o'clock. Good girl. So our hour will be 8,
8,
and our minutes will be?
0, 0.
You got it. All right, guys, everybody help me out on this one. Richard, I don't think you've given me one. Richard, what's my time?
2:30.
Yep. Yes, it's between the 2 and the 3, so we go to the lesser hour, 2:30. So we've got 2:30. Now, the worksheet at the bottom, I'm going to let you try and do on your own when at a later, time. I want to show you one more thing. On the bottom, it says draw hands to show the time. So on this one, this is where, look on my screen, look at my mouse, go right here. Do you see where I'm pointing to? And right beside it, you click the arrow, and there's a little section you can choose arrow. And now watch, I can actually put my hands on the clock. So I want to show 7:30. Now I remember that when it's 30, it's already halfway past the hour. So it's not going to be right on the 7. What two numbers is it going to be between, boys and girls?
7 and the 8.
The 7 and the 8. Good. Because we're halfway between those two. So you can just make it as long as you want. And then
30.
click that arrow again. And this time we're going to make it touch which number?
6.
Yep. Good, Layla. The 6. So
Maybe
now
it
we've
looks
shown
like it's
7:30. All right. Now we're going to show 10 o'clock. So we're going to click our arrow. And what number are we going to point our little short hour hand to?
To the 10?
To the 10, our first number. And since it says 0, 0, our long hand's going to touch the
12.
All right, guys. Cool, huh? Now, when you get into your Google, I'm going to leave this up, so all these will still be on there so you can see them. When you get into your Google Classroom and you open up yours, you're going to go down here to page 2. And it's actually the homework page, but it's the same stuff. You're just going to keep practicing it. And whenever you get it done, you're going to move Layla. All I see is her sweet little face right there. There you go. You're going to hit share right here, and it will share it back to me. And then I can see what you've done. I can see your answers. Is that cool or what?
Yeah.
I think the first bottom one was pretty much wrong. I just don't understand why you put it between the 8 and the 7. I mean, it's still at the 8.
Let me get this one.
It hasn't reached 7.
Let me get back up there. You talking about this one, Rylan?
Yes.
Okay, so what's my time? 7:30.
7:30.
All right, let me see if I can show you something on this clock. Hold on, I'm going to stop share. I need to be able to see myself. All right, can you see my big clock, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to set my big clock to 7 o'clock. I always start with o'clock when I'm doing time on my big clock. It makes it easier, all right? So the cool thing about this one is when I move my minute hand, my hour hand's going to move with it. All right. So what time am I showing you on my clock right now?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Now watch. I want you, Rylan, watch my minute hand. Watch my hour hand as my minute hand moves. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now, is it right on the 7 anymore?
No.
No.
No, it's halfway between the 7 and the 8 because we're halfway done with the hour now. Do you see that? So now, getting back to our screen that we were looking at, that's why when we drew this little arrow in, we didn't make it touch the 7. We put it halfway between. So Rylan, let's look at this one together. What does this one say right here?
12:30.
Yes. All right, 12:30. So when it's 30, that means we're already halfway through the hour. So Rylan, where will my hour hand be? What are we halfway between?
The hour.
Let me find. Can you guys see my clock? Because I can't see myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start. All right, what time am I showing you right
Yeah.
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. I'm counting around
12
with me
o'clock.
until we get to 12:30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, Rylan. What two numbers is my hour hand between?
The 12 and the 1.
Yes, awesome. The 12 and the 1. So when I draw this, and when you draw yours later, you're going to make your little thing go, your little arrow go between the 12 and the 1. And then Rylan, where will my minute hand go?
Your minute hand will go at the 12. At the 12.
Hour hand's going up between the 12 and the 1, and anytime it's 30, that means you're going down to, look at my cursor, down to the
6.
6. Yep,
6.
you got it, girl. So there's our 12:30. 12:30. Smile. It's gonna be okay.
I can't.
She says I can't smile. Layla, smile. All right. So here's what I would want you to do. When you get a chance, get into your Google Classroom, play around with that one. Take some pictures of some clocks around the house today. Send me some pictures. Tell me if it's a digital clock or if it's an analog clock.
Yes.
And then tomorrow we'll actually start talking about counting around by 5s, and when it's not just on the 12 or the 6. We're going to start telling time to 5-minute increments. So we'll work on that. I think we've probably gone on a long time. Rylan's drinking milk. She had to take her little breakfast break. I love you, Rylan. I'm thirsty too. I think we should all have our breakfast tomorrow morning when we join each other. And let me know how it goes. Now, listen, I got exciting news. This has nothing to do with telling time. Are you ready? You got to go to Class Dojo. I put a video on there. Guess what's hatching?
Eggs.
Our chicks! Our chicks are hatching.
I
And
see that. Mommy showed me the video.
My Grammy and puppies.
So cute.
they're so cute. And so I'll keep sending you pictures as they keep popping out. But I was so excited when I got that today that they are doing. All right, any questions or anything you just want to talk about before we go?
Our chicken started laying eggs.